In 1958, a copywriter named Victor Schwab published a single two-page advertisement containing exactly 100 headlines and not a single product for sale. The ad became the most studied piece of copy in direct response history and the foundation for a 1962 book that still teaches marketers how to write copy that converts. Today, I'm breaking down the exact five-step system he built over 40 years of split testing, the same system that built the Book of the Month Club and helped sell millions of Dale Carnegie books. Schwab's 1958 advertisement ran in trade publications across America, and it was unlike anything the industry had ever seen. Instead of pitching a product, he gave away his best work, 100 proven headlines, each one a masterclass in persuasion. Copywriters ripped the page out, studied it, and shared it for decades. It worked because Schwab wasn't guessing. Every headline had been tested years earlier with coded coupons, proving which words actually pulled in customers. The ad was a portfolio, a sales letter, and a masterclass rolled into one. Victor Schwab was born in Hoboken, New Jersey on March 13, 1898. His entry into advertising was almost accidental. At 19, while studying at Columbia University at night, he was hired as a private secretary to Max Sackheim, the copy chief at Ruthroff and Ryan, one of the leading mail-order agencies of the era. The job required shorthand, and Schwab had it. What he didn't expect was that he'd never leave the industry. Within months, his talent was spotted and he was promoted from secretary to copywriter. But Schwab didn't write copy like everyone else. Most copywriters of his era relied on instinct, gut feel, and personal flair. Schwab wanted proof. He pioneered the use of coded coupon advertisements, different versions of the same ad, each carrying a unique coupon code to track which headlines, which appeals, and which calls to action actually generated responses. This was split testing, decades before the internet made it standard practice. Every claim Schwab ever made in his career was backed by data, never opinion. In 1926, Schwab and his colleague Robert Beatty purchased Ruthroff and Ryan outright and renamed the agency Schwab and Beatty. The shop became one of the most successful direct response agencies in America. They didn't just write clever copy. They engineered entire sales systems, from the headline to the coupon to the fulfillment sequence that arrived in the mail. This was direct response advertising at scale, and it was all built on the same testing mentality Schwab had developed as a young copy chief. The agency would soon land two of the biggest accounts of the era. Schwab and Beatty's biggest win was the Book of the Month Club. They built it from a struggling startup into a cultural institution, using the same split testing playbook to refine every piece of the funnel: the direct mail letters, the bounce back cards, the editorial style advertisements, even the membership pitch itself. Membership exploded. The club became a household name, and Schwab's fingerprints were on virtually every piece of conversion copy that came out of the agency. This wasn't advertising as art, it was advertising as engineering, and the response data proved it. Around the same period, Schwab and his team worked on what would become one of the best-selling books of the 20th century, Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. Schwab is even credited with helping craft the book's iconic title, which remains a household phrase more than 80 years later. Think about the range here. The same man engineering coupon-based direct response campaigns was also shaping the language of one of the most influential self-help books ever published. Both projects shared a single obsession: figuring out what words actually make people act. By 1962, Schwab had spent over 40 years testing, measuring, and refining the science of persuasion. That year, he published How to Write a Good Advertisement, a slim, practical manual built not from theory, but from millions of real-world data points gathered through coded coupons, mail-order response tracking, and decades of split tests. The book wasn't a memoir, it was a field manual. And it's the reason modern copywriters still quote him, study him, and steal his headline structures more than 60 years after it hit the shelves. Schwab's framework is deceptively simple, 5 steps, but each one is loaded with psychological insight that most modern marketers still get wrong today. Step 1, get attention. Step 2, show people an advantage. Step 3, prove it. Step 4, persuade the reader to actually believe. Step 5, ask for the order. The sequence matters enormously. Skip a step and the entire ad collapses. Get the order wrong and even a brilliant headline will fail to convert. Let's break each principle down with examples from his own work. For Schwab, the headline was everything, not because it was the first thing people read, but because it was the only thing most people actually read. He estimated that 5 times as many people read the headline as read the body copy, a ratio that still holds true today in the age of social media scrolling. If your headline doesn't stop the thumb, nothing else in the ad matters. The body copy, the offer, the call to action, they might as well not exist. The headline is the gatekeeper, and the rest is bonus material. Schwab's rules for attention-grabbing headlines were brutally specific. Be specific, not vague. Lose 10 pounds in 30 days beats lose weight fast every single time. Target the right audience directly. A headline that speaks to everyone speaks to no one. Make the headline as long as it needs to be, but not a word longer. And use editorial style layouts that blend in with surrounding content to disguise the ad and boost readership. These aren't creative suggestions. They're the rules Schwab proved through millions of split tests in his career. Schwab also documented which images pulled the strongest response in his coupon tests. Photographs of people or products in use outperformed studio shots, abstract graphics, and stock imagery by a wide margin. A woman actually wearing the dress sold more dresses than a dress on a hanger. A carpenter actually using the drill sold more drills than a drill on a white background. This single principle explains why lifestyle photography dominates e-commerce and social advertising today. The pattern was first identified by Schwab back in the 1940s. Once you have attention, you have approximately 3 seconds to answer the reader's most pressing question. What's in it for me? Schwab was ruthless about this step. He identified 14 core human desires that effective advertising must tap into: financial security, better health, popularity, prestige, comfort, advancement, security for loved ones, praise from others, and several more. The critical insight is that you're not selling a product. You're selling the outcome the product delivers. The product is the vehicle. The desire is the destination. Schwab used a simple example to make this point unforgettable, and it still works today. A drill bit manufacturer doesn't sell drill bits. It sells the perfectly hung picture frame, the finished bookshelf, the pride of a well-built home. A camera company doesn't sell cameras. It sells the family memories, the vacation photos, the social validation that comes with beautiful images. Modern marketers still get this wrong constantly. They lead with features, specs, and product descriptions. Schwab proved decades ago that the outcome is the only thing that closes the sale. Schwab understood something most advertisers still miss today. People don't believe you just because you made a claim. They need proof. Schwab's prescription was layered, combined testimonials, case studies, statistics, demonstrations, expert endorsements, and guarantees into a single body of evidence. He called this the persuasion stack. The more independent the source is, the stronger the proof. A claim backed by a single study is weak. A claim backed by testimonials, real data, an expert quote, and a money-back guarantee is almost impossible for the reader to dismiss. Step 4 is where most ads go completely wrong. After laying out the evidence, you have to actively guide the reader to the conclusion. Don't just present the facts and hope they connect. Schwab said the reader's mind is lazy. It will often jump to the wrong conclusion or no conclusion at all. You have to walk them step by step from skepticism to belief. Use transitions like, and that's why, which means, and so you can see. Spell out the logical chain the reader should follow, one link at a time. Step 5 is the ask, and Schwab treated it as a science. A weak close waste everything you built in steps 1 through 4. His rules: make the offer specific, remove risk with a guarantee, create urgency with a deadline or limited quantity, and tell the reader exactly what to do next. Don't make them guess. Don't give them 10 options. One offer, one action, one clear next step. He also recommended repeating the close in different forms throughout the ad, not just at the end, to catch readers who stopped reading early. Here's the part that should make every modern marketer pay close attention. Schwab's principles were refined between the 1920s and 1960s, long before Google, Facebook, email marketing, or landing pages existed, and they still work in 2026. Every A/B test you run today, every email subject line you split test, every sales page you optimize, every retargeting ad you write, you're operating inside Schwab's framework, whether you realize it or not. The tools have changed. The psychology of attention, desire, proof, belief, and action has not changed at all.